that is overlooked on many occasions. I think it's something that we work towards and we strive towards, but then it gets busy and then things happen. And there's definitely been salons, clinics that I've walked into where I've looked and thought, oh, the wax pot's got drips down it, or I used to be really fastidious, that's a good word, fastidious about the cleanliness and the hygiene, and we used to have a list all the time and it got checked so every hour. You know, the toilets, do you walk in and there's toilet roll, and also laying on the bed so they're cobwebs, and but just there's definitely you can get that feeling when you walk into somewhere that they've been busy and everything looks a bit crazy.
Or it's the other way around as well, when you're laying on the bed that way from
massage.
Not sure when was the last time that was cleaned.
No. Well, you see the therapist's feet through the thing.
I know.
No, that's fine.
I mean, no, that's fine. But I think ultimately for me, I was so shocked, and I actually did a video straight away when the pandemic hit. And everyone was going crazy and we need to do that and hygiene. And I was thinking a lot of it should be done.
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we got this
that
in place?
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, it's either it's very busy or it's a lack of knowledge around the hygiene procedures that have to be really, really tight. Because it is linked to health and safety ultimately. And if you don't really know health and safety, or if you're really kind of unaware of the things that are going to make sure that the client is safe and the team is safe, it's not just the client, it's also your team, then you're going to carry on as you are, I guess. But I mean, I'm a huge health and safety fan. I sound more and more excited. Between budget and health and safety, I do all the boring stuff.
Yeah.
It's that burnout mode, isn't it?
But I feel like that it takes time, doesn't it, to get to burnout mode, and I feel like there's reasons why you get to burnout mode, isn't there? So you're probably just doing everything yourself, you're not using your team or structuring the team in a way that you can actually have some breathing space. Don't you think? Because I've been there as well, when I felt like, you just feel your head's going to explode, you haven't got enough time or energy to do it, and you just feel like you want to give up. But it's not because you don't love the business or you don't love what you do, but you just can't see a way out, and the more you're working, the more work it churns up, and it's kind of like that. So you need to step back and not start again, but you need to look at how you're working and what you're doing.
I think it's so difficult because when I meet people sometimes who say I'm on a burnout mode, and you kind of listen to them and it's like, maybe not, it's just purely the structure that's not serving you. When you're on a real burnout, you actually unable to function on the day-to-day. So it's having that, I think that word also has come across throughout the years of like, I'm burnt out. Are you, or is it purely the revisiting of your to-do list, your time management, your structure, like you said, who's helping you with what, in order to be able to have that headspace? Sometimes as a business owner, you just never able to have that headspace, really. So taking that step away, we took a whole week away to work on strategy, and we encourage that with our members, that take that step away. But when you are in a real burnout mode, you're not even aware you are.
You can't function at all, can you?
I think so.
But I also think it's that it comes to that it comes back to that whole thing of letting go again, doesn't it? I think this is one of those questions that's, I think it occurs in a lot of businesses, because the reception is one of the places, or for me, it is the place where the hardest work takes place. Not taking away from being a therapist or any other position in the business, but you are juggling so many different balls, and the pressure is on quite a lot of the time, and it can be quite a thankless position to be in, because the therapists do their job, they quite often get the tips and so on, but a receptionist doesn't see any of that, and when what hits the fan, it's reception that takes the flak, or if there's a complaint, generally it's reception, and so on. So I do think this happens quite a lot, where the receptionist is feeling overwhelmed, and how do you support them in that? I mean, when we do reception coaching, we very much start to analyse how they're operating, Is it in a structured and thought out manner in the way in which they're operating? Do they know the realms of which they're able to operate in as well? Because I think a lot of the stress at reception comes from that. You know, are they able to deal with that? And if they are, how are they dealing with it? And what leeway have they got to deal with certain things? And that's with clients and with the team. So they're juggling all these different balls. So I think that the role for them needs to be very clear. So is their role very defined in what they're doing, what's expected of them, and what their boundaries are as to how they operate, and then how are they operating? What is the organisation behind their role? Are they doing things in a very structured and organised manner? Do they know that the telephone comes before a client? There's many different aspects that you can look at to help support the receptionist. And the thing is, at the moment, we're talking all the time about staff wellness, aren't we?
I know, it's like the biggest thing, because obviously you want to engage as much as possible with your staff.
Yeah.
And part of it is to take care of them.
Yeah.
We're in the industry of wellness.
Yeah.
We should be taking care of them, but it is an extra budget for sure.
It is an extra budget, and it's how can you afford that? And I just think it's about thinking, you know, not big necessarily. You know, you don't have to think that it has to be a massive day out, or, you know, you have to give them, you know, a big adventure or whatever it may be. You know, it's thinking smaller and also working around it. So a client I've got, they do treatments on each other, but they come in an hour earlier, so it's the cost of the treatment.
Yeah.
But they're getting that sort of wellness factor in terms of they're still getting something, whether it's a massage or whatever it may be, but you're adding it out, or on their day off, they're welcome, they can come in. And so it's thinking about ways of being able to treat them, but maybe not always in a huge monetary value.
For sure. And it's interesting what you perceive as a salon owner or as an owner that you know, what is it that they want. But I remember when you're talking about treatment on each other, I remember a salon owner saying every year I was taking them away to, you know, the Scotland, and I was doing a really nice day in the spa and blah, blah, blah. And she said one year I did not know what to do for their kind of yearly treat. And she asked them, and they said, we just want to spend time with you and just do treatment on each other and actually have a nice meal. And that was it. And she said, what I thought was going to cost me £2,000 was ending up being just literally, you know, about £400-500 as a nice treat for you. So what you've got in mind as a staff wellness doesn't necessarily mean it's what it is that they want.
For what they want. And also, you know, the little things, it's not forgetting that the little things make up, you know, maybe every Friday you do probably different elements to why you feel terrified. But I think first and foremost is probably just that aspect of public speaking in a very small arena to start with in front of your team.
Yeah.
And, you know, over the years, I listened to many things. I mean, we harp on all the time about communication, reading books, how to deliver certain messages, how you can control your breathing, how you can elongate certain words and talk maybe a bit more slowly so that you're, you know, getting your message across in a clear way that's effective as well.
I know. I always love talking.
I know. You don't seem to struggle with this.
I seem to struggle with the talk. I think for me it was more the English, French coming out suddenly when I'm in front of a lot of people. The French is coming out. So that was more my dilemma. I think ultimately there's a couple of elements, isn't it? Is that for me is there been enough preparation to the meeting you want to deliver, whether it's a team meeting or an individual meeting? A lot of owners we meet are so much in the operation and they know they need to do a team meeting. I'm doing a team meeting, prepare the agenda, and not really giving it a second thought. So if you have got a tendency to be a little bit scared to public speak or have an audience in front of you, or even on a one-to-one, that's going to be just what I call a clipboard manager. Yeah. And I'm just going to go through everything I need to go through. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Let's have a good day. And that's not really empowering. So the only way to be really strong about the message is definitely prepare yourself and practice in some way if you're really scared.
Yeah. And also lately I've been speaking to quite a few owners that quite often we meet owners anyway that don't deliver any form of one-to-one meetings.
Thank you for joining us. We really enjoy sharing our thoughts on various topics. If you have a burning question, simply comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button to keep up to date with each new episode.